Hey everyone, it's Erin Fletta here, and I am here today to talk a little bit about stencils. So, as you guys probably know, I have been releasing more stencils every month, and so people have been asking me a little bit about how to use stencils, and there's a whole bunch of green on my finger, and I thought that I would do a little bit of a video talking about stencils. So stencils are a really fun way to make things go quicker. For example, I used to use this Moxidori stencil quite often to do my cleaning trackers. And since I created my stencil, I haven't been using this as much, but even this took way less time than doing things with compasses and things like that. So this is like another really good tool that you guys can use just to get some of the more complex type of trackers that you want to do and try to speed up the process of producing your trackers every single month. So I started out my whole stencil life with this Moxidori stencil. I know Jaden's Apple also does like a lot of really good stencils, both of which are on Etsy. So I highly encourage you guys to go check out those two shops, and I will link them down in the description below. So I'm going to show you the 3 stencils that I have out currently, and then I have another stencil that is going to come out next week on Friday. So I have this cleaning stencil. Well, I say a cleaning stencil. This is the stencil that I use for tracking my cleaning, but it can be used for anything that happens on different timetables. So you have your daily section, your bi-weekly section, your weekly section, and then your monthly section. And then this can either be a section for random stuff, or you can use that as a header, whatever you guys want to do. So I know that a lot of people use this for doing different types of trackers on their weeklies. Copeland Plans in particular uses this daily section to put down things that are happening on her weekly. So she will put this at the bottom, and if she has 5 tasks, she will fill in all of these squares and then put the different habit for each of those. So it's a really versatile tool. And you can also do that with the large habit tracker as well. So this was requested because a lot of people want to know how to use stencils, because mine in particular are a flexible type of plastic. So the reason why I went with this type of material is because it is washable, and so you can use things like distressed ink on them, and then they're washable, and then the ink doesn't transfer to anything else. That is how I created this habit tracker right here. And I've shown you a couple different ways that you can use this type of habit tracker. You can use the distressed ink. You can also do what you do with the other trackers, and you can fill in each of the squares. So I do want to note that my cleaning tracker has changed. So the cleaning tracker used to have a empty circle in the middle, but I found that keeping the circle in the middle allows for a little bit more stability on these inner circles. So that's why I started adding these as well. So just an FYI for you. There's still a couple of these left that I'm putting out in the world, but if you are ordering in the next couple weeks and things like that, most of them will have this circle. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how you use these habit trackers. So the first thing I'm going to show you is using the distress ink. I really like this method, and you can do this with a ton of different types of inks, but I just like the look of the distressed ink. So I'm going to show you that. And essentially what you use is a dabber, and this comes in a set with a ton of these, and you put the dabber on top, and then you move it around in the ink, and then you dab it on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. So what I always suggest first and foremost is using some washi tape or regular tape or something like that to put down the stencil, so that you can make sure, where is my scissor? So that you can make sure that it isn't going to move while you are doing any of this. And so I suggest that if you are using a pen or if you are using any sort of inks and things like that, you can just use it along the corners and it's pretty easy. I really like the distressed ink part because it goes much faster. So I highly, highly encourage using any sort of ink. And for example, if you wanted to do different types, like if you wanted multiple 30, the daily trackers, then you can move it around and make your own version of this stencil. You don't have to do it how I've done it, but you can move the stencil around so that you can get multiple 30 days, you can get multiple bi-weeklies or multiple weeklies, etc. But I'm going to show you just using the little dabber. So this is distressed ink. It's from Ranger. And then so is this dabber. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it around in the ink. And you can see that it's transferring over. These inks are a little smaller. They have these mini sizes, and then they also have larger sizes as well. And it's as simple as dabbing it down. Now, I'm not being careful because I don't really care because I'm not using this page. But for this one, for example, I was very careful about not getting it on the sides. So there's different types of ways you can do that as well. And I just like the little twisting motion. You don't have to do that. I didn't do that over here or like on top here. You can just get the speckly type of version and it still has the same effect, but I kind of like the little swirl action that happens as well. So if I didn't want one of these sections, for example, if I didn't want the monthly section, I would use some like washi tape or something and put it over that section so that that section gets blocked out. So it is as simple as that, and then peeling it up. I don't want my hands to get all purple, so that's why I'm being careful. And why I recommend washi tape is because it just peels off of the paper really easily. And there you go. So now that looks a little awkward, but it's fine. You could be a lot more careful than I just was. So this is washable, and I'll actually leave this tape on so that I can go wash it and show you that it is 100% washable. So I literally just run this under water and you can see that it washes off, and I left a little bit there so you can see again that this is the same stencil and that it is washable. And then you just take a little paper towel, good as new, you can do a different color next month. And one of the reasons why I like this method, you can also spray water on top of this and get that distressed ink look with the like little water splatters. I'm not going to do that right now, but just to let you know that you can. And if I wanted to, so you can use white on this, you can use black on this, whatever suits your fancy. And then this would be the 30-day section. So this would be daily. I do it Monday through Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can use this how you see fit. For example, how I would use this in February. I like to start from the bottom for some weird reason. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And so February started on Saturday, I think. So I would just block these out because those days were not in. I think it started on Saturday. And then the first day that I would start marking off for, let's say, doing the dishes would be Saturday. So I would start marking off here. Again, you can also do this by actually filling in the squares as well. You can do that part freehand, or you can do it with the actual stencil, which I will show you in a second. You can also do it using pencil first, and then going over freehand with your pen. I like that method the best, going over in pencil, or using the stencil with the pencil in case I make any mistakes, and then doing it freehand after that. So there you can see you can also use it this way. So that is the cleaning tracker, and that is the method using the distressed ink. I'm also going to show you a couple of the other trackers. So I use that same method with this one. So this is the semicircle habit tracker. Again, really fun to use. This one has a lot of squares though, and I made it that way so that you can do 10 different types of habits, but this one can also be used only doing a couple. If I only have 4 habits that I wanted to track, I would only use the top 4 items on there. So for example, I'm gonna reuse my washi so that I don't waste a bunch of washi, especially cat washi. I do not want to do that. So like I said, if I were doing the distressed inks, and let's say that this month only had 30 days in it, I would just washi tape off the 31st day, and then bam, you have 30 days. And if I only wanted to do the top 4, so how you want to use the actual tracker, the stencil, is you want to push against the sides of the stencil. So I am always pushing towards the outer part. Now, I highly recommend that you use, probably not Muji because it's a gel pen. I highly recommend using like Tombow mono type of plastic nibs, or something that doesn't run super inky, because then it can get caught under and then you kind of have to do a little bit of corrections. I've never minded that. I did that in my blackout notebook with gel pens, and I just went over it with a black pen to clean up the sides. And like I said, you always want to kind of push towards the outside of your stencil. And I'm going to show this part in real time just so you know how long it takes to do this. Or at least the first row, probably not the other rows. But at least you have a little bit of music to keep you company. But I want to be transparent about the length of time that it could or could not take. Again, I've been doing this for a while, so I might be a little bit faster. The first time or so may not be so easy. But like I said, you always want to push towards the outside so that you are staying within that section. And you don't want to hop the fence like I did there. And I'm going to show you what it looks like with the Tombow mono as well, just so you can see the difference between using like a gel ink pen and not. But like I said, I really recommend using those distress inks. Those work great. Okay, and like I said, super easy just to limit it to what you need. If I make a mistake, like I did by hopping the fence, I would just use a white gel pen and go over it. Pretty simple as that. And like I said, you can also do the distress ink and then do the pen on top of it. And you can also, here is my little mini habit tracker that I'm gonna show you as well. This is fit for 31 days, but again, you can just tape off a day or not fill in a day if you are doing a 30-day tracker, for example. And I'm gonna show this at a little bit of an angle so that you guys can take a look. This is one of my mess ups because I got green on it somehow. Not sure how that happened, but it's okay. It is okay. So if you can tell, I am always pushing up against the side of the stencil. If it lifts up, that is fine, because I am always pushing up against the sides, so it is not going to cause issues. And just remember with stencils, slow and steady wins the race. Now you can also get stencils that are for banners. You can get stencils on Amazon. There's tons of places there that you can get stencils as well for different types of banners and things like that. My main gig right now is to do stencils as habit trackers and things like that, because I know that that is something that people complain about in the community, that it takes a lot of time to do pretty types of trackers, and I just want to show them that there can be tools to make it go a little bit faster. And I want to introduce more people to habit tracking because I have found it super helpful in my life in particular. And if I'm doing 30 days, then I can just not fill in that day. Make sure I don't rip anything. And as you can see, it turns out to be a beautiful habit tracker. And so I am just going to put, for example, if I am doing the gym, because that is something that I really want to make sure that I'm paying attention to, especially at the beginning of the year, helping me figure out my resolutions. And I can either color it in, I can exit out. You can put the numbers in before, you can put it in after. So let's just do that so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And you would go all the way around the circle. That goes to 15, and then you would start 16 here to go to 30. Again, this is another good reason why Muji and like gel pens may not be the best option, because going over it in pen, oftentimes, those bleed a little bit. Not bleed, they smudge a little bit. And with things like the Tombow mono drawing pen, it does not. And let's say I'm cheating and I add gym and yoga in the same one. And then I can do the same thing up here at the top. 1, 2. So you can either put the numbers in, you can put them on the top and on the inside as well. Sleep. So those are the 3 habits that you're tracking. You can put numbers next to it. So I could have done 1, 2, and 3 and made a list over here, kind of like it is on my sticker sheet, or you can put them right next to there and then fill in as you go. So that is that stencil, and now I want to show you the newest stencil that I have in my shop. So again, this is based on one of the trackers that I have as a sticker. So if stencils aren't really your thing, all of these have stickers associated with them as well. So again, this is a 31-day tracker, and again, you can use washi tape just to mark off this section, or you can use it as a bigger section, which I don't know. Oh. Here's my washi tape, reusing washi tape. And let's say I just want to do a cool little design with it and then continue on with the rest with the little boxes. This is why I tried to make it really versatile so that you can do really fun things with all this stuff. So say I only had 30 days and I wanted to put 2 of them together. I'm not gonna put a line on this side. Good thing this is washable. And let's say when, oops, that wasn't a good idea. So the color wasn't a good idea for this, but I just want to show you that as well. And say if there's only 29 days or 30 days, you can also do the other side and then connect them after you peel it up. So this is how you use a lot of stencils for like banners and things like that. You connect different parts after you lift it up. So if I am lifting it up like this, after I had shaky hands there, then I can connect them here as well. So there you go. So that's how you can alter it for different types of days as well. You can put together different types of parts. So if there were 29 days, I could do the same thing. I could just do the top and bottom, just do the side, and then fill it in on this side. And then that would give me 29 days instead of the 31-day tracker. So you can alter these really easily for any type of month that you wanted to do and any type of style that you wanted to do. So the long skinny ones in particular, those are the ones that are a little bit more difficult to do. These smaller boxes, much easier. It doesn't have as movable of a material on the inside. So those go slower in particular. So that is what I have to show you about stencils. Again, Moxie Dory and Jaden's Apple are, Moxie Dory also has the more flexible type of materials, and then Jaden's Apple has a metallic material, so it's much stiffer. It doesn't have that super flexible element. I thought the super flexibility would be helpful for people trying to manipulate it and things like that. Like when I was talking about this, which I'm just going to rub on my pants because it's still wet, and I wanted to combine different types of things, I can move it around and combine as I see fit. So if I wanted the 30-day one right next to it, I can put the 30-day one right next to it. And again, I would probably tape this down. But I am also not going to tape it down. So these longer pieces, like I said, if you're not going slow, you can move the little bit of flexibility. So go slower on the ones that are longer. Okay, and let's see that I just wanted a monthly as well. So that's a good example of how you can move the stencils around to make it fit your life a little bit more. Like I said, I know Copeland Plans and a couple other people have done it just on their weeklies where they have added it at the bottom. I will link a bunch of accounts below of people that are doing fun things with stencils, and then you guys can go and take a look. So if I just wanted this on my weekly, I can put and then you can see that it transforms into a weekly tracker instead of a full monthly. Okay, so that's what I've got for you guys today in terms of stencils. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I hope you guys like this type of video. I just want to show more tools that you guys can use, get you guys exposure to different types of shops and things like that, to help you guys put together your bullet journal. I know people complain about how long things take and things like that, but it only takes as long as you want it to. There's a lot of different types of tools and stickers and pre-set up printables and things like that that can make your life easier for bullet journaling. And I highly recommend all of them, because if you are doing things in your bullet journal and the bullet journal is the best method for you to get things done in your day, but you also want pretty types of trackers and pretty types of decorations, you do you, and you make sure that you can add those different types of things. I use stickers all the time in my bullet journal because, especially when it comes to these trackers and things like that, I don't want to take a long time setting up for my month. So I either use stencils or stickers that I made for myself and things like that to help me make the setup go faster. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for all those who requested this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.